Hello. In this video series, we will be telling you about the various features of our new access control equipment, the Sigur E2 controller line and MR100 readers. To make the demonstration as clear as possible, we have developed the special demo kit. It allows you to get acquainted with the basic functionality of Sigur before actually installing it on site, as well as go through the entire process, from unboxing and connecting the equipment yourself to working with the software and fine-tuning various functions. Who would be interested in this kind of kit? First and foremost, installation companies and distributors of access control equipment. At the same time, it can meet the needs not only of technical specialists, but can also serve as a basis for presenting the system's capabilities at small events or meetings with end customers. So, before we move on to the actual unboxing, I'd like to say a few words about the equipment itself. The new controllers have a standard form factor for DIN rail mounting, enhanced indicators on the case, which we'll discuss in detail a bit later, and expanded network capabilities for seamless integration into the site's IT infrastructure. As for the Sigur MR100 readers, this is an updated version of the already well-recognized MR1 reader. The main difference from its predecessor is support for the modern OSDP communication interface. In addition to the obvious advantages this method of connecting readers to the ACS controller provides, it's specifically when paired with the Sigur E2 that you'll be able to unlock the system's full potential. This includes centralized firmware updates, indicator settings that can be changed with just a click in the Sigur software, security key management when operating in secure mode, and the ability to connect more readers to a single controller. But let's take it one step at a time. Let's get started with the unboxing. Let's open the box and see what's inside. There's a box containing the demonstration panel with a stand. This is the base of the future kit, where the equipment will be installed. For easier unpacking, there are special flaps. The set also includes an instruction manual for connecting the equipment, with a clear assembly illustration. Let's move on. In the center, there's a package with the E2 controller. Next, we see two boxes with MR100 readers. Let's take them out. The remaining two boxes contain everything needed to work with the demo kit. We'll get to know their contents a bit later. We won't need the large box. Let's set it aside. Now, let's talk in more detail about what's inside the demo kit. Let's open the box containing the demonstration panel. Here we have the actual panel itself, and its truly sturdy, robust stand. Let's set the box aside. We won't need it. As you can see, the panel has a DIN rail, bayonet mounts for the MR100 reader, and buttons for testing the system's operation. On the back of the panel are the electronic components needed to connect the equipment. In particular, all the electrical wiring has been completed, and a socket for connecting the power supply has been brought out. Let's set the panel aside and start unpacking the equipment. We'll start with the E2 controller from the new product line. The presence of removable terminals makes installation and initial setup of the equipment convenient. Thanks to the extended indicators, you can get information about the controller's status, as well as monitor detailed parameters, such as the state of the security loop. It is worth noting that when connecting readers to the E2 controller via the OSDP interface, you can connect up to 4 readers in series. Importantly, all data is securely protected at every level, from the identifier to the reader and from the reader to the controller with AES encryption, as well as from the controller to the server via SSL/TLS. The E2 controller also supports the standard SNMP protocol for monitoring equipment status. In the new controllers, we have expanded the capabilities for working with security devices. This means that by connecting various sensors and additional equipment, such as a siren, to the device, you can set up a full-fledged security system. We will talk about this in more detail in upcoming videos. Let's set the controller aside and turn our attention to the MR100 readers. Although our brand new equipment hasn't changed visually at all compared to the previous MR1 model, we've significantly expanded its functionality internally, making it much more powerful. First, the MR100 can work with bank cards such as MasterCard, Visa, and Mir, and not just with physical cards, but also in emulation mode using payment apps like Google Pay or Apple Pay. Second, thanks to support for the modern OSDP communication interface, Centralized configuration and maintenance of the system is possible. The OSDP protocol is very flexible and has huge potential for expanding capabilities. We have improved the standard OSDP protocol by developing our own version, SSDP, which allows us to expand existing features and add new ones. Soon, features like updating encryption keys on readers directly from the server, updating reader settings and firmware, and advanced system status monitoring will also be available. The reader has an extended temperature range and can be used in temperatures from -40 to +50 degrees Celsius. It's also worth noting that the MR100 reader is certified for European compliance, which speaks to its high quality in line with global standards. And our personal pride, the Mr. Product line received the prestigious Red Dot Design Award in 2020. The remaining boxes contain connection wires, a screwdriver, a key for resetting IP parameters and removing the readers, a patch cord DIN rail stoppers, a power supply, and 3 MFRA format cards. As you can see, everything you need for assembly is already included in the kit, so you won't need any additional equipment to get started. Now, let's get started with the assembly. First, take the controller and mount it in the center of the DIN rail. Position the panel so that the buttons are on the right. Do this from top to bottom, just like this. There is a latch at the bottom that needs to be snapped into place. Now, secure the controller on both sides with the stoppers. The stoppers have top and bottom parts, so for convenience, install them the same way as the controller, from top to bottom. Take the reader and feed the wire inside the panel. Install the reader itself onto the bayonet mounts at a slight angle, then turn it clockwise until it's in a straight position. You can gently bend the wire and place it into the special guide so that it's neatly arranged and doesn't interfere with closing the cover. Repeat the same steps with the second reader. Note that it's easy to tell the top from the bottom of the reader by looking at its logo. You can install and turn the reader either clockwise or counterclockwise. Next, according to the assembly instructions, you need to connect the reader wires to the corresponding terminals on the crossboard. Here, we can actually see the crossboard itself and the terminals on it for connecting the wires from the readers and the controller. The terminals for the reader ports are located on the sides. Let's start from the beginning. First, we have power. This is 12 volts of power, and the red wire goes here. Next is GND, which stands for ground. The black wire goes here, which is 0 volts. The LDR and LVG terminals should be connected to the brown and blue wires, respectively. These terminals are used to activate the indicator line when access is granted or denied. LEDR is associated with denial, and LEDG with granting access. Next is the terminal for controlling the sound emitter beat. The yellow wire from the reader should be connected here. For the remaining pair of terminals, data 0 and data 1, connect the green and white wires, respectively. These are the data lines for the Wiegand interface. If you need to clarify the wire colors during installation, you can always do so by referring to the controller user manual, which can be downloaded from our website in the documentation section. In the meantime, we've finished connecting the readers. Now let's move on to connecting the wires from the controller to the crossboard. The most important thing is to match the terminals correctly. For example, 12 volts on the crossboard and the corresponding terminal on the controller. Now let's move on to the sensor and button lines. These are the pass, RT, and of course, GND terminals. For the connections, use brown for pass, gray for RT, and black for GND. There's nothing complicated here. The main thing, as I mentioned earlier, is to make sure everything matches. Pass is the passive sensor, RT is the exit request button. Let's move on to connecting the readers via the RS485 line. This line is used for working with the OSDP interface. Here, we're interested in the A, B, and COM connectors. We connect them in exactly the same way as the other wires, using green, white, and black. White goes to B, green goes to A, black goes to COM. The demo kit also allows you to work with a security alarm system, and to test it, you need to connect the corresponding loop. For this, there are special terminals in the alarm sensors group, one positive and one negative. Let's connect the gray and blue wires here, linking the controller and the crossboard with them. While the back cover of the panel is off, we can select the reader interface using special switches, which, you have to admit, is very convenient. Now for the most important part, the power wires, 12 volts and 0 volts. These are the red and black wires, respectively. Now let's put the back cover of the panel back in place, and set the panel itself on the stand, aligning the magnets like this. All that's left is to connect the power plug. At the moment, we have two readers connected, and we can see the green power LED on each port. The other LEDs aren't informative right now, since the equipment hasn't been configured yet. The compact Sigur demo kit embodies the main goal: simplicity and clarity of operation, both for the installer on site and for the end customer. In the next videos, we'll move on to software setup and show you how to quickly get started with the system.